be setting up our own certificate authority or trusted certificate authority, and then we're going to create our own self-signed certs. After that, we'll apply our new cert to a web application that's running in my environment here to see if everything's working properly, and then that will be it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, first thing we're going to do here is make sure we have OpenSSL installed in our environment. I'm using Fedora Linux with the latest updates applied. So let's go ahead and do DNF info OpenSSL. And there we go. Yes, we have OpenSSL installed, so we're good. We'll be using that to create our CA and then our certificates. So let's go ahead and clear this. All right, step one, we'll be creating our root certificate authority. So we need to generate a private key. We do that by typing, and we need to do this all as our root user, so we're using sudo throughout this process. And that will be OpenSSL gen RSA, and then our output file will be, and our web app is the Level Blue awesome open source sim that I've done in previous videos. It's available to test this out on, so we'll just name our certs and everything, or associate our certs with that. So this will be awesome ca.key, and then we'll have our key length, make our key length 2048 bits. This can vary depending on how long you want your key to be. It could be 1024, it could be 4096. It's up to you. And let's go ahead and enter. Type in our password. Let's do an LSC. Yes, and there's our new key for our root CA. Now we need to actually create our root CA. So we'll do the sudo OpenSSL rec x 509 new nodes key, and this will be the key we just created, which is awesome ca.key, and our output file will be awesome ca.pem, which will be the file that we use as our trusted CA. And we'll go ahead and hit enter. Now we need to input information related to our location, business, and department, and all of that stuff, contact info. So this will be US for country name. State or province, we'll say New York. City, just use the default, which is default city. Organization name, we'll use the default, which is default company limited. And then our section name, we'll say security. Common name, so we're going to use the name of this server, which is alienvault.private.local. Enter, and I'm going to leave the email address blank. It's optional, so enter. And we should have our new trusted CA. Let's do an LS. And there we go, awesome ca.pem, and looks good. So let's go ahead and move on to actually generating our self-signed cert. All right, first let's go ahead and clear this screen. Enter. Now, the first step in creating our self-signed cert is to generate a private key and then a certificate signing request. So let's go through the same process we did in the previous step, creating our private key. So we'll do a sudo OpenSSL gen RSA out, and we'll name our output file. I'm just going to name the file the name of our server or our web app. So alienvault.private.local.key, and that'll be again 2048. Enter, and our password. And let's see, ls. There we go. There's our new private key for our self-signed cert. Now our next step will be to create our certificate signing request. So we'll do a sudo again, OpenSSL rec new key, and we'll use the key we just created. So alienvault.private.local.key, And our output file will be the same name. .csr for certificate signing request. Now we'll go ahead and hit enter, and we're going to be prompted for the same location, company name, contact information that we did in the previous steps. So here we go, do the same, apply the same info, US, New York, default city, default company, and this will be security, and this will be the same name used before. alienvault.private.local, and email address blank. And this will be a challenge password. I'm just going to use something simple here since this is all going away after we're done. This would be, we'll just use password and optional company name. I'll leave that blank. And I think we are finished. So let's do an LS. So we have a new private key, and we have our certificate signing request. And everything looks good. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step, which will be actually generating our certificate. All right, again, let's clear this screen, do a sudo, and we're going to create a file that contains the parameters for our key. So we'll do a VI, and we'll name this alienvault.private.local.ext, enter, password. Okay, we'll do an insert, I for insert, and we'll input authority key, identifier, equals, key ID, issuer, enter. Basic constraints, equals, CA, colon, false, all caps, enter. Key usage, equals, digital signature, comma, non-repudiation, comma, key encipherment, comma, and data encipherment. And enter. Next line will be subject alt name, and that will equal at alt names. All right, let's go ahead and skip a line, input alt names. So bracket, alt names, alt.names, closed bracket, enter. That will be DNS.1 equals alienvault.private.local. That is it for that file. So we'll do an escape, colon, write, quit, exclamation, enter, do an ls, and there is our file, alienvault.private.local.ext. And our final step in this process is to actually create our cert. So we'll do a sudo. Actually, let me back this up and do a clear first, so everything's not at the bottom of the screen. So we'll do a sudo OpenSSL x509-req-in, and our in file will be the certificate signing request, which will be alienvault.private.local.csr, and then we'll input our certificate authority -ca. That will be our awesome ca.pem, and then our CA key, which will be our awesome ca.key. And we'll also input CA serial, CA create serial. This is just a serial number that's created so certs can be managed and organized and identified clearly. So from there, we will generate our output file, which will be alienvault.private.local.pem. And we will make that valid for 365 days. And we need to also use the file we just created. So next file, ext file. alienvault.private.local.ext. And we should be good. So let's go ahead and hit enter. Put in our password. Oh, fat fingered my password. And there we go. So we should have our new SSL certs. Let's do an ls. And there we go. alienvault.private.local.pem is our new CA cert, or our new SSL cert, and looks good. So our next step will be to configure our web app, so we'll go ahead and do that. First off, let's go ahead and clear this. And next I think I'm going to, the Windows machine back here is going to be our workstation that we use to access the app, so I'm going to configure that first. So let's go ahead and run a command prompt, run as administrator. Yes. And we're going to edit our host file. So we'll do it's in drivers, and Etsy, do ls Windows dir, and let's do a notepad hosts. Okay, so down here we'll just add an entry for our application server's system. So IP address 1.50, and this will be alienvault.private.local, and we'll just name this. It'll be awesome. Go ahead and do a save and do a exit. So we should be good. We can test this out by pinging using the host name. Says it resolves to 50. So when we go to that site in our browser, we can use alienvault.private.local rather than an IP address. So let's go ahead and minimize this. All right, next step will be to copy our certs over to our Windows machine. So we'll use WinSCP. Let's do a login. Let's see. What am I trying to access here? That should be it. There, just fat fingered, I guess. And let's go ahead and dump this stuff into, or dump these certs into our downloads folder. So we'll need our private key, our SSL certs private key, and then our cert, and we'll need the PEM file for our trusted CA. So let's go ahead and download those. Let's see, let's do an abort. Let's go over here. Let's do a ls-la, and it's because our SSL cert key doesn't have the proper permission set, although everything else does. So let's go ahead and do a sudo, and this will be change mod, and we'll do 644, so we get read write, read read like the other files, and this will be it looks like I fat fingered this, so let me back up here. So it's alienvault.private.local.key, enter, and enter. And we should see here that our file now has the same permissions, read write, read read as the other files. So we should be successful copying these over again. So let's go ahead and do a download. Okay. And there we are. We have our two SSL files, the cert and the key, and then we have our trusted CA down here. All right, our next step will be to go into the Microsoft Management Console, and we'll run that as root or as administrator. And let's see, we'll go to File, Add Remove Snap-in, Add Certificates, My User Account. We'll hit OK. We'll expand the certificates on the left. Go to Trusted Root Certification Authorities. Go into Certificates. Let's see. see action. Let's see, let's do a right click. All tasks import, leave that at the default. And our file name will be our trusted CA, which is in the downloads folder. I have to change this down here to all files. And highlight that one, hit open, next, and next, and finish. And this is validating the trusted CA, which we're good here. We don't need to do this, but you may in your environment. But in this case, we'll just hit yes. The import was successful, so here is our trusted CA. Let's go ahead and exit out of this. Hit no on Save Console Settings. Let's go ahead and minimize our SCP, WinSCP. And our next step now will be going into the browser. Go into vault.private.local. So I should be able to do this. You have to use the IP address, I guess. I don't like Edge. It sucks. I prefer Chrome. So admin is our username. Type in our password, and this is our Level Blue Awesome source. So from here, we would go to Configuration Administration, Main, Awesome Framework, and then from here, we will browse to our SSL cert, the .pem file, hit open, and then our private key, which is here, open, and then update our configuration. Okay, so it's accepted the certs. So let's go ahead and wait a few minutes to make sure that it's working properly, and then that will be the end of our task here. Okay, so let's go ahead and close out our browser, go back into it, and we should be able to access this site using HTTPS. AlienVault.private.local. Give it a minute, see what happens. And there we go. We are at the login page for our web app, and we are using HTTPS. We see the lock here, which means it's encrypted using SSL, and everything is working properly. And it says here connection is secured, and the SSL cert is trusted by the trusted CA that we created earlier. So everything looks good. All right, so I think that's it. I hope this is useful, and like my videos and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Thank you.